So this is video 2 of part 2 of The Knight's Tale. I think we got a little cut off at the end of video 1, so I just want to kind of reread where I was. So go back to page 111, line 709. This is Arcite talking to himself, or so he thinks, but Palamon is really sitting in the bushes. He says, "You slay me with your eyes, Emily. You are the cause of my dying. On all the rest of my cares I would not set the worth of one weed, if I could do anything that would please you." At that he fell down in a trance for a long time. Then he got up. So what you need to write down under bad fortune is that Arcite reflects on his current situation, and he is unhappy because he's just a squire. He's not royal anymore. He's not a knight anymore, and he serves his mortal enemy, who is Theseus, and he has to change his name and identity. He's no longer Arcite of the royal bloodline. He's this guy, Philostrato, who's a squire and means nothing. But more importantly, Emily doesn't even know who he exists, that he exists, and does not love him. Here's the deal, though. Palamon is going to hear this whole spiel that Arcite has said. He's identified himself. He's talked about his bloodline. He's told the woods that what he's been doing for the last 7 years. Palamon hears all of this. So he's going to threaten Arcite. Palamon, who thought that he felt a cold sword suddenly gliding through his heart, quaked with wrath. He would wait no longer. When he had heard what Arcite said, he jumped from the thick bushes as if he were mad, with a face of deadly pallor. He said, "Arcite, false and wicked traitor, now you are caught, you who so love my lady, for whom I have all this pain and sorrow. You who are of my blood and are sworn to be on my side, as I often told you before this. You who have deceived Duke Theseus here, and thus falsely changed your name. Either you shall die, or I will. You shall not love my lady Emily, for only I, and no others, shall love her. I am Palamon, your mortal foe. Though I have no weapon here, but have just escaped by luck from prison, let there be no fear. Either you shall die, or you shall not love Emily. Choose what you want. You shall not escape." So this is Palamon threatening Arcite, calling him a traitor, saying that I'm going to kill you for lots of reasons. One, you have wronged me. You love my lady. You have lied to Duke Theseus. You have broken your code of knighthood. So Palamon is challenging him at this point. With scornful heart, Arcite, when he recognized Palamon and had heard what he said, pulled out a sword. He was as fierce as a lion. He said, "By God who sits above, if it were not that you are sick and crazed through love, and also that you have no weapon here, you shall never go from this grove without dying at my hand. I spurn the covenant and the bond which you say I have entered into with you. Why, you absolute fool, recall that love is free, and that I will love her in spite of all you can do. Yet, as you are a valiant knight and desire to decide the claim to her by battle, take here my promise. Tomorrow, without anyone's knowing of it, I shall not fail to be found here, on my faith as a knight, and to bring quite enough armor for you. You choose the better and leave the worse for me. Tonight I shall bring you food and drink, enough for you, and bedding. If it be that you win my lady and kill me in this wood, where I am now, you are welcome to your lady. As for me." Palamon answered, "I agree to this plan." Thus they parted until the next day, for which time each had faithfully pledged himself. Okay. Under good fortune, you have to write a couple of things down. We talked about before the Knight's Code of Chivalry. Okay? Palamon and Arcite are both noble knights. They will follow the Code of Chivalry, or understand that they will face consequences. Right now, Arcite exhibits the Code of Chivalry. Okay? He says, "Tomorrow we will battle. We will battle to the death. The winner will win Emily. But before that, we need to make sure that it's an even playing field. So I will get you food. I will give you bedding so you can get a good night's sleep." Arcite really treats him as a friend. He treats him equally. Okay? He says, "Tomorrow I will bring you armor. I will bring you a sword. And we will be evenly matched. And then we will fight for Emily." Guys, realize that Emily has no idea that this is happening. Okay? Both Palamon and Arcite have figured out a way to kind of end this battle over Emily. So this is good news. Perhaps. All right, let's pick up where we left off, which is line 737 on page 113. With scornful heart, Arcite, when he recognized Palamon, oh, I already read that. I'm sorry. Go down to page line 765. O Cupid, beyond all charity, O sovereignty that wants none equal with yourself, it is said most truly that neither love nor rule will willingly endure a shared role. Arcite and Palamon indeed discovered this. Arcite then rode to town, and before daylight the next day he secretly provided 2 suits of armor, both of them sufficient and suitable for deciding the lonely battle between them. On his horse, utterly alone, he carried all the armor before him, in the thicket, at the set time and place. Arcite and Palamon met. Then their complexions began to change color. Just as a Thracian hunter who stands at the gap with a spear, when the lion or the bear is being hunted, and hears the beast come rushing among the branches, breaking both twigs and leaves, thinks, here comes my mortal enemy. Without fail, either he or I must die. For either I must slay him at this gap, or he must kill me, if I do badly. Just so they fared, as their complexions changed, as soon as each recognized the other. There was no good day or other greeting, but straightway, without speech or rehearsal of their agreement, each helped to arm each other. So they help each other put on their armor. Although they know that in the next couple of hours, one will be dead and one will be alive, caused by the other. But straightway, without speech or rehearsal of their agreement, each helped to arm the other, as friendly as if one were the other's brother. After that, with sharp, strong spears, they thrust at each other a very long time. You might have thought that Palamon in his fighting was a wrathful lion, or that Arcite was a cruel tiger. They smote each other like wild boars, which frothed themselves white as foam in their wild wrath. They fought up to their ankles in their blood, and I leave them continuing the fight in this manner. I shall go on to tell about Theseus. So, bad fortune, we leave Arcite and Palamon fighting in the grove until one person is dead. They are, it is an unbelievable fight. They are both fierce warriors, and they're compared to lions or boars or tigers in their ferociousness. So now the knight says, I'm going to leave them fighting in the woods. We're going to go back to see what Theseus is doing. Destiny, the governor general who executes everything in this world, the providence that God has foreseen, is so strong that even if the world had sworn by yea or nay the contrary of an event, still yet one day that event should befall, though it should not happen again in 1,000 years. For certainly our desires here below, be it for war, peace, or hate or love, are all ruled by the providence above. I intend all this now in reference to mighty Theseus, who was so fond of hunting, especially for the great hart in May, that no day dawned upon him when he was not dressed and ready to ride, with hunt and horn and hounds beside him. So the knight goes into a little bit of a digression about the power that, or the idea that we really don't have power over our destiny. It's fate and it's fortune's wheel, and it's all things that human beings can't determine the outcome of. Okay? Just like who you fall in love with is determined by destiny. So then he talks about how Theseus loved to hunt, and he went hunting every single day. He went hunting specifically in May. He had such a delight in hunting that all his joy and longing was to be himself the scourge of the great hart. For after Mars he now served Diana the huntress. The day was clear, as I have said before, and with joy Theseus, with his fair queen Hippolyta, and with Emily, all dressed in green, had ridden royally to the hunt. So it just happens that this one day, Theseus, Hippolyta, and Emily decide that they're all going to go hunting. And they're all going to go hunting and end up in the exact same grove where Palamon and Arcite are fighting. I know what you're saying. This is all too coincidental, too good to be true. Remember, this is a story based on courtly love. This stuff has to happen in order for people to have an interesting plot. Okay? The day was clear, as I said before, and with joy Theseus, with his fair queen Hippolyta, and with Emily, all dressed in green, had ridden royally to the hunt. He went straight to the grove, which stood near by, and in which there was a hart, as he was told. He rode right to the glade among the trees, for the hart in his flight was likely to go there, and then across a brook and forth on his way. The Duke wanted to have him in chase once or twice with such dogs as it pleased him to direct. When the Duke had come to the glade, he squinted below the low-lying sun and immediately became aware of Arcite and Palamon, who were fighting as ferociously as if they were two boars. The bright swords thrust to and fro so hideously that with the least of their strokes it seemed as if they would fell an oak. He had no idea, however, who they were. So, good fortune. Theseus, Hippolyta, and Emily are going out on a hunt. They just happen to find the same grove where Palamon and Arcite are fighting. This is good news, okay? There's going to be someone who intervenes in this battle between Palamon and Arcite. All good news. Make sure you have that written down for number 20. Going to the top of page 119. This Duke struck spurs to his courser, and at a lunge he was between the two of them. He pulled out a sword and cried, "Halt! No more, on pain of losing your heads. By mighty Mars, the man shall die instantly who gives another stroke that I can see. Tell me what kind of men you are, who are so rash as to fight here without judge or other officer, just as though you were in the lists under royal control?" Palamon hastily answered, "Sire, what need is there for further words? We have both deserved death. We are two woeful wretches, two captives, whose lives are an encumbrance to us. And as you are just lord and judge, do not give us mercy or refuge, but kill me first, for holy charity. But kill my companion too, as well as me. Or kill him first, for though you little know it, this is your mortal enemy, this is Arcite, who was banished from your land on pain of death, for which reason he has deserved to die. For he is the one that came to your gate and said his name was Philostrato. Thus he has deceived you many a year, and you have made him your chief squire. I am one who loves Emily. And since the day has come when I shall die, I fully make my confession that I am the same woeful Palamon who has wickedly broken from your prison. I am your mortal enemy, and I am the one who loves Emily so ardently that I wish to die in her sight. Therefore, I ask for my punishment and for death. But on the same principle, kill my companion, for we both deserve to be slain." So Palamon does a interesting thing here. He's the first one to talk, and he reveals everything. He like spills the beans about everything. This is Arcite. He's been lying to you for the last 7 years. He broke the code of the Knight's Code of Chivalry by returning back. I'm Palamon. Yeah, I'm the guy who broke out of your prison. I too broke the code of knighthood, or the Knight's Code of Chivalry. Kill me, but make sure you kill Arcite too. But I really love Emily, and I would rather die with her seeing me do this, because this is a heroic deed, and I'm being truthful, and I'm professing my love to her, all aspects of courtly love. So, kind of interesting at this point. The valiant Duke answered immediately, "This is a quick settlement. By your confession, your own mouth has condemned you, and I will remember it. There is no need of torture to make you confess. You shall be slain by mighty Mars the Red." So, bad news. Theseus says, well, that was easy. I don't have to torture you to get any answers. You just kind of told me everything. So he learns who's fighting, that Palamon and Arcite are both fighting for Emily. Theseus realizes that his mortal enemies are now asking for death, and he's like, okay, problem solved. We can do this. And so Theseus decides that he will kill both of them, Palamon and Arcite. So we will stop here. We will then finish the rest of part 3 in our next video. Make sure you have the notes through Bad Fortune number 21.